welcome to this new reading vlog. So today I wanted to start a new reading vlog. It is a Tuesday and we have a couple of exciting things going on this week. It's probably gonna be Tuesday, a vlog from Tuesday to Friday. We're going on vacation on Saturday. We're going to Florida, to Amelia Island, so I'm really excited and I want to do some prep for that. I also have we're going to see a golf tournament tomorrow that's in Atlanta. It's the FedEx Cup. It's the biggest tournament of the year, so it's going to be super excited. I've never been to any golf tournaments before, so I imagine that it's going to be pretty exhausting. It's going to be a lot of time outside. I'm going to bring my Kindle just in case there's some spots where I can read. And because of that, I have 2 books that I want to finish between now and then. And I have a Kindle book that I also want to finish. And I have a new recipe that we're going to try out. So first, let's start with the recipe. So for tonight, we're gonna do The Only Meatloaf That Matters. It's in page 153 of this book. Again, we're doing the recipes from the book More is More by Molly Bass. So yeah, so this meatloaf looks incredible. It's very different from the meatloaf I usually make. Usually use like ground meat, and this one uses sausage. This one has a cheesy center, and it takes forever too. So I kind of want to start doing it sooner rather than later, because it does say that you have to bake it for a while and then let it rest for a while. So I'm gonna let you know how that goes and give you a little food review. And then I have 2 books that I want to finish. So first book is The Jade Dragon. I think I said that I might finish this book in last week's vlog. I feel like I have a little under 100 pages left. It's pretty good so far. It's about a girl who goes to a school after her father gets murdered in order to figure out who murdered his father, because her father went to this school as well, and they don't accept women, so she has to disguise herself as a man. So it's very Mulan. It is Asian inspired, but it also has like a steampunk aesthetic. So it's very fun so far. It's just like not captivating me. That's why it's taking me so long to finish it, because it is a little YA. It's written very, like, the stakes are low for what it is, and then like it's just not like, there's a romance that I don't care about, but I am gonna finish it and hopefully it's good. So far my Limit Creek books have not been the best. It's been like very hit and miss. And then speaking of another Limit Creek book, I kind of want to finish all my Limit Creek books because I've been putting them off. So this one is To Cage a God. This one is about a woman who loses her mom. She's an orphan, and then she gets adopted by a woman that basically wants to encage a god inside of the girl. And this is a very traumatic process because the god doesn't like it, and then it's very traumatic for the human too, because then they have like a split personality sort of thing going on. So this is what's going on in this world. So far, the girl is like a grown woman now, but she's kind of isolated from the rest of the world because she's known as like a traitor. So she's kind of trying to get into this prison or castle. I don't know. I'm not sure about that yet. So that is what's going on in this book. And then I have 1 book on Kindle. I always forget the name of the books I have on Kindle. Since I don't see the cover, I don't remember the names. So I'm reading Hair Feral Beast on Kindle. This is a very like Kindle Unlimited kind of book. It is White Choosed Beast romance, so you know, right up my alley, I guess, because that is kind of like, if I do have to read something that's a little bit smuttier, I do prefer that. So it is fantasy. It's about a girl, again, that like a woman who on her 13th birthday, she's supposed to know what is her beast form, like what form she transforms into. And she's from the Cobra family, so she's hoping to be a Cobra because her father is very elitist, and if she's not a Cobra, she's not going to be part of the family anymore. But she ends up being like 5 different types of beasts, and she also ends up having like 4 mates at the same time. And because of this, she gets exiled, and we kind of like jump right in the middle of the story. She's on the run. She has her mates running after her, but I kind of like a fun twist is that the mates actually don't want to be with her. They actually want to capture her and kill her, so she doesn't have power over them, because in this situation, in this world, like, the woman of the mates has a lot of power and control over their mates, so they kind of want to avoid that. So she's on the run, and they're all gonna get stuck in this like prison together, and all type of tomfoolery is gonna ensue. Again, this is not a serious book whatsoever. Very Kindle Unlimited, but I kind of like having at least one of those on the side at all times, just because it's so much fun. And yeah, those are the 3 books that I'm gonna read this week. I am gonna go to the bookstore and pick a couple more books out because I do need something for vacation. I am planning on picking up the new Hannah Grace book that came out. I think it's Daydream. And I am gonna pick up a book for my husband because he wanted me to pick him out a book for vacation. But that is like such a tough ask. I feel like when people ask me like, oh, like pick me a book out, I'm like, no, no. I'll give you recommendations and then you can take them or leave them. But just like pick an entire book out for you is like, especially my husband is so picky about like the media that he likes. So I do know what he likes, but I feel like it's very like, it could be a hit or it could be a miss, but I think I kind of know what he kind of wanted. He wanted something a little bit more nonfiction, so that'll be different for me to look for because I've been in a fantasy mood. And yeah, those are my plans for the week. Come along with me and we'll have some fun. Everybody, and welcome back to my reading nook. So I just came back from vacation. I was gone for an entire week and I kind of forgot to update. I was just having too much fun and doing other things, but now I'm getting back, I'm home, and I want to add a little bit to this video because I read a lot when I was out on vacation. I finished 3 books and I got most of the way done with a 4th. So yeah, let's just get right back into it. So the first book that I finished was Daydream by Hannah Grace. This is a new-ish release. I think it came out like 2 weeks ago. Hannah Grace is one of my favorite romance authors. I'm very picky when it comes to romance. I don't like everything. I don't like very melodramatic. I don't like a lot of like very, like, maybe because I'm not the type of person that I'm very gushy as a type of person. But it really does annoy me sometimes when like the romance is like so like emotional and so taxing and so brooding, and I'm like, shut up. So these ones are pretty like lighthearted, but still have a lot of like important topics that couples should discuss and couples should talk about. So this one is following what's her name? Let me see. Hallie and then Henry. So it's following Hallie and Henry. So Hallie is very studious and she just got out of a relationship that was like kind of like a relationship based on convenience. Like they were like friends all throughout high school, and then like he asked her to be his girlfriend and she kind of just went along with it. So it wasn't like true love or anything, but she is getting over a breakup, especially after losing all her friend group because her friend group chose her ex instead of her, and she feels very down about it because that really hurts her self-esteem because she's like, I don't know, am I not worth it? Am I not worth being like friends with? Am I never gonna have friends? And then Henry is just dealing with a lot. He has a lot of like neurodivergence problems. He has a lot of sensory issues. He doesn't like to be around crowds. He can't talk to people, but now he's tasked with being the captain of the hockey team because all of these is kind of like all of the books in the series are following like the same group of people. You know, it's one of those romance where you like expand onto the friendship group. So yeah, so now he's the team captain and he doesn't know how to deal with it because he's very bad at organizing and he's pretty bad at like prioritizing, and he gets very overwhelmed easily. So he's kind of like trying to get Haley to tutor him, to kind of like helping out with his schoolwork, and she's trying to get him to kind of like show him how to be like more outgoing and make friends and get out of her shell. And that's just kind of like the romance starts, but it just like becomes so good. They have such good conversations about anxiety and about expectations, and then Haley just like develops and blossoms into such a like a lovely human being. It was amazing to watch as a person who also like struggles to get out of her shell and make friends. And I still kind of do. Like I kind of like lost a lot of my friends that I had during college and high school. Like I still talk to a lot of them, but I don't see them every day. I don't hang out with them every day. So it's always a kind of like battle, like, am I broken because I don't have friends near me. I don't have close friends. Not that like, obviously my friends back home still count, they're very relevant, but I don't have any friends that I have as an adult that I made as an adult. My friendships are from like friendships that I had when I was like a teenager or early in college, and I really struggle with adult friendships. So that's kind of like everything that's tackled in this book, and it's gorgeous and lovely. It didn't make me cry, but it is gonna be one of my favorite books of the year. And then I read 2 audiobooks. So I read She's Not Sorry, I think it's by Mary Kubica. Yeah, by Mary Kubica. This one also is a newish release. It came out this year. So this one is kind of like following a nurse that kind of like gets a patient in her ICU room. She's an ICU nurse. And this patient actually kind of like has a lot to do with her past and has a lot of secrets. And she's kind of like developing the mystery around like what happened to this patient, because at the beginning everybody thinks that she kind of like off herself, but it actually ends up being more than that, and she kind of has to help out discover that mystery. And honestly, it's one of those books that if it wasn't because I read it all in one go, and that was shocking, it would have been like very predictable. But because I read it all in one go, and because I read it in the audiobook, I feel like I was like completely shook by the mystery, and it was like amazing and so much fun. It is still like a 3-star, no, like a 4-star book. It's like kind of like teetering into like having like a lot of fun with a fast-paced mystery, and it being like a little obvious if you're actually paying attention. But if you just want to like a quick audiobook that will hook you, I would totally recommend it. And then the other book that I read in audio was Everybody in the Train is a Suspect, which is the new book by Benjamin Stevenson. I think he was one of the big authors that came out of last year. He wrote Everybody in My Family Has Killed Somebody. This is like the sequel. And what I have to say is like, if you enjoy Everybody in My Family Has Killed Somebody, you will enjoy this book. Like, a lot of the great things about that book continue, especially like the quirky writing, like the talking directly to the audience, the like being a very firm mystery, the type of like very like Poirot mystery where like everybody is like relevant and everybody has a piece of the mystery, and you just have to like talk to everybody to get the whole mystery. Everything of that, like very Agatha Christie, very classic but modern classic, is still there. In this one, the author, I don't think he goes with Benjamin. I forget what he goes in the book. He basically gets invited to a train journey around the Australian like outback, and in that time there's supposed to be like a book tour associated with the train journey. So there's a lot of authors in this train journey, but in the first or second day of the train journey, one of the authors dies, and he was the most famous author out of the bunch. And now everybody had a reason to kill him. If it wasn't because of jealousy, like it was because he was like a terrible person, or because like they wanted fame, or because the book that he was writing was the last one. There was like a lot of different reasons why everybody would like to kill this person, and now we just have to narrow down who actually did it, and it's so much fun. I don't know. I love a good, like, just fast-paced, very cinematic mystery in a train. I just had a blast. And that one is also 4 stars. So I had a lot of 4 stars. And now I'm, like, in my last book. So this one is You Can't Spell Treason Without T. And this one was an impulse purchase. I went to a bookstore where I was vacationing in Amelia Island. And I was like, oh, I'll just pick something fun. And it actually, like, ended up being really good. I didn't realize this book was initially like self-published, and I think now it's gonna be released in traditional publishing. This might even be their traditional publishing release. Yeah, because it's by Bramble. So yeah, so this one used to be a self-published book, and now it's not. So get your hands on it because it's so darn cute. So this one is like by I'm reading it physically, so I'm not sure how to pronounce this names, but it's like Raya and Raina, and then the other one's Keithy or Casey or something like that. There's 2 women. You can see them right here. This one's Raya and this one's Keithy. And Raya is like the queen's guard, and Keithy is actually the most powerful magician in the realm. And they're kind of like both have very big responsibilities, but they're also very unhappy in their lives. Kitty because she has too much responsibility, and Raya because she's like serving an evil queen that she doesn't actually like. So because of that, they both want to escape their lives, and it's kind of like one of those situations where they like fell in love, but they haven't actually like spent a lot of time together because they've always like been pulled in different directions, and they finally decide to run away together and form a little tea shop that is also a plant shop that is also a bookstore. So it's kind of like one of those things where like if you have all your fantasies come together to form like the very very cozy fantasy that this is. The thing about this is that the world building is still very very strong. You still get like a lot of like how the magic works. You still get a lot of like how political everything is, especially because like this little town where they end up settling is kind of like an unclaimed town. So like the queen has claim, but the magicians also have claim. So they're kind of like trying to like settle out like who actually has claim to this little town. So you still get a lot of politics, but again, like the stakes are fairly low, but there's still like dragons that are attacking this small town. There's a mystery like why the dragons are attacking, and both of these people want to have a calm life, but they're also like they're not shy. It's not like they're being pulled out of their quaint life. They're not like reluctant. They actually want to help because they fall in love with this town, and they kind of want to solve the mystery because they want to help. So yeah, it just has the coziest vibes. I'm almost done. I have like yay left, and I'm gonna tell you how it ends. But I will absolutely keep picking up these books if they keep coming out because they're like so fun and cozy. If you're kind of like craving something after Bookshelves and Bone Dust and whatever the other one is called, I forget what they're called, I would totally recommend these ones. Even though it doesn't have a ton of magical creatures, it does have like very like cozy vibes like that book. And yeah, those are all the books I'm reading. Now I have a couple tasks. I'm gonna make lunch. I'm gonna go, I have to purchase a dress for this wedding I have on Saturday that I'm going as a guest, and I don't have a dress at all, and it's like 3 days away. I have to go buy some tea, and yeah, nothing crazy. I want to organize my closet today because I have like too much clothes that I don't wear very often, so I kind of want to declutter that. And yeah, that's I think everything I had on my schedule for today. My hair is very very heavy. I kind of have to get a haircut, but I don't want to. And I want to start my quilt. I want to make a quilt for the winter time, so I'm gonna start it hopefully today. I know it's gonna be a labor of love. I know it's gonna take forever, but I want to at least start it pretty soon. So yeah, come with me on my adventures, and I promise to videotape them this time. Bye. I just came back from making dinner, and I was trying on the dresses that I got for this wedding I'm going on Saturday. So I'm not sure which one I like best. Just spoiler alert, one is like 3 times more expensive than the other. Just twice more expensive. And the other is more versatile, but this is option number 1. So here you go. Choo choo choo. This is the back. And yeah, if I'm gonna wear this dress, I'm probably gonna get my hair down and have like big hair and earrings, like gold jewelry. So this is option number 1. And I do feel very like sexy mama, very Latina in this one, but it is very pretty. So I'm going to show you option number 2. Okay, so this is option 2. I do think this blue goes very well with my complexion. It does like bring everything out, like my green eyes and my hair, I guess. but it is a little bit more conservative. But the thing about this is, first, it's half the price of the other one, and second, I can see myself like dressing it up and dressing it down depending on the occasion. This could be like a great like Thanksgiving dress, New Year's dress, going to the theater, going to like a different wedding, like a cocktail hour, like several different things. So that's why I kind of like I'm leaning towards this one because it's a lot more versatile, but it is a lot less exciting. Here you go. It's just like a nice slip dress that fits me very nicely, and if I'm gonna wear this, I'm probably gonna do my hair up in some sort of hairstyle. I just put it up in a bun, and my droopy earrings, I think it highlights better. And yeah, that's what I'm thinking. That's what I've been doing. I think I'm probably gonna stay with this one, but I always like the feedback. I do feel very hot in that other one. So what I might do is like I might return it, but then try to find it at like one of like the secondhand, because it is a Reformation dress, so it's like $400. So maybe if I can find it for cheaper, I might buy it secondhand just in case, just to have it, because I feel like there's gonna be like still like plenty of weddings in my future and plenty of occasions I'm gonna need a dress for. So yeah. Those are my updates, and I'm hot now because changing clothes takes a lot out of me. Bye. Hello, and welcome back to my vlog and my shiny face. I am doing my makeup right now, if you can see my little makeup bag. So I did finish a book last night. I finished You Can't Spell Treason Without T. I got this edition. It has blue sprayed edges, which I kind of find weird because it wasn't like a special edition or anything. My bookmark's still in the wrong part, but I did finish it. So yeah, so it was pretty good. I really enjoyed it. It was fast-paced all throughout, which I think is very impressive for something that it's a cozy fantasy. And the reason it felt like a cozy fantasy all throughout is the tone, definitely, but also because like the main characters are so overpowered. You're kind of like, oh, okay, like they can definitely like do something about the situation, and they don't really need. They're so like they're the most powerful persons in the land, so they're like, okay, like this is gonna be so easy for them. Townies are very like nice and cute, and everybody is very vivid, and it feels like I always like comparing like small little town things with like quirky characters to Gilmore Girls, because it is like such a strong setting, and it does feel very fall, especially even though this book is taking part mostly in the summer and a little in the fall. It's so cozy, and I absolutely loved it. And it has like dragons and a lot of like other like fun things to keep your attention the whole way through. I actually think it's better than Bookshelves and Bone Dust, which is another book that is very similar to this. I just don't like that style of writing as much as I like this one, and I think this one is significantly better paced. The only complaint I have about this book is that the voices are not very distinguishable amongst the two main characters. They have alternated chapters, so one chapter will be from this perspective and the other one from this one. And I just think that the author did a good job differentiating them in some chapters, but in others, like you kind of like can't differentiate them at all. They have a very different sense of humor, but it's still pretty. It doesn't feel differentiated, and a lot of times I was confused, even though it was pretty easy for me to get used to it after a while. And the other complaint that I have is that the audiobook is pretty terrible. I ended up picking up the audiobook for the last like 100 pages, and oh my god, it was terrible. It has this woman doing the audio narration, and she's pretty talented, but she does do like very squeaky voices at the beginning of each chapter. Like she starts very squeaky and then kind of like goes back to normal. And she does like a British accent for one of the characters, and because she does it for dialogue, you kind of like can notice when she's transitioning from the American accent to the British accent, and for like a little bit it sounds weird, and then it'll be a full British accent, and then when she transitions back, she'll have like a British accent for a little, and then she'll start having an American accent again. It is very confusing and a little wild that went through. I think like because it was independently published, maybe it was just like the audiobook was already out there before a big publisher like kind of picked it up. But it is a little wild that like it is very starkly bad. But I still listen to it. I got used to it after a while. I'm not very picky when it comes to audiobooks at all. I can listen to an audiobook of like Crickets or something. I don't care. So yeah, so that is my update so far for the rest of my day. I'm gonna go drop some things off for my uncle. I need to drop that off. And then I have to I was gonna go take my dog out for a swim because this is gonna be like probably the last time during the summer that's actually warm enough for like my dog not to get very cold when she goes swimming, and she loves swimming, so I'm gonna take her out to do that. Then I have to shower her because I live in a small apartment and I cannot deal with her smell of a dirty dog. And then after that, I probably want to start my bubble quilt. I did do some research about it yesterday, but I didn't actually start it, so I want to start that. And yeah, I need to return a dress. The one that I didn't end up choosing was the red one, so I have to return that one before I forget. And those are all my chores for today. It should be a pretty easy day, pretty relaxed day. And I think after today, I might give you a final update, but I think that's going to be the end of the vlog, and I'll start a new one tomorrow. So I probably won't finish another book today. I want to start the Rayburn cycle because it's part of the Books and Lala's like besties book club. I am part of her like membership program, so I do get the bestie videos, and I want to read that one. And then the other one that I want to read is am I gonna finish my smutty my smutty Kindle book? I think the Beast Inside of Her or something to that effect. I'll put it right here. So that one I want to finish, but that one's only available on Kindle, so I have to like physically be sitting down to read it. So I don't know if I'll actually end up getting to that today, but I'll keep you updated. Bye. Hello and welcome back to my home. I am eating my soup. Let me see if I can show you. My soup I made yesterday. It is actually really good. I've never made it before. It's a drop egg soup. So it has like zucchini, tofu, and mushrooms, and then you drop an egg. But if you want to make it vegetarian, you can just not drop the egg. And it's super delicious. I'm loving it, especially after the day I had. I just came back from walking Panda at the park, and I kid you not, I had the worst time ever. Panda is a very reactive dog. You can see her in the video I posted before this. She's wearing her muzzle, and she wears her muzzle all the time when we go outside because she had a biting incident like 2 years ago. So I always make her wear her muzzle. So in case, even though like we haven't had any incidents in forever, I don't want to risk it. So I take her to this park. It's supposed to be an unleashed park, but of course there's people off leash because they're idiots. And then I get there, and I honestly don't care that much if people have their dogs off leash, but they should be able to recall them. Like recall your dog like 99% of the time, then you can have him off leash. But this dog, it was a huge German Shepherd. Panda is a pit bull. Comes straight running at Panda. We were in the water because the whole reason I took her to this park is because it lets your dog swim in this little like creek. So that's why I took her there. And it's a Wednesday morning, so there was like supposed to be like no people. That's why I don't try to do it on the weekends, because there will be like way too many people. So I was like, okay, like recall your dog, like screaming it at one point because I don't know where this guy is. I can't see him. And then like the dog keeps getting like so close to Panda, and I have to like pull her through, like try to get her. And of course she's wearing her muzzle, so I'm not too worried about like she biting her. And she has a prong collar too, so I have very good control on her. But the dog won't leave. It takes him like 10 minutes to come and get the dog. And I'm like, I don't even say anything because I'm just frustrated. I just want him to leave my proximity. Like, don't even be near me right now. And he finally leaves, and he's very apologetic. But I'm like, dude, you know your dog. I know my dog. I know, like, that's why I take preventions. Why don't you take your preventions when you're coming to a place? And I realize, like, it's so hard because I want dogs to be happy, and I feel like dogs running off leash in water, it's so much fun for them. But I don't want dogs to be happy in expense of my dog not being able to go anywhere too, because then Panda is only allowed to be in this apartment and nothing else. And I want her to have an enriched life too. So I want to be able to take her places, but now I feel like I can't really take her anywhere ever. I do like a little walk around the block, which is enough exercise for her. It's like about like 25 minutes each day, like twice a day. So she gets about 40 minutes of exercise. But I feel like she doesn't have a lot of enrichment. She doesn't go outside. She doesn't go to hotels. She doesn't go to parks. She doesn't go to all those places that other dogs go to. But yeah. So that's my little rant about dogs being off leash. It irritates me so much. And it's not because, the thing is, like, people's like, oh, but my dog is so friendly. But I'm like, my dog isn't, though. Like, my dog is gonna bite your dog, and then I'm gonna feel awful about it. Because then it's, like, kind of like my fault. But it's not really, because you had a dog off leash, and my dog was on leash, and I was trying to live my life. That's my... Oh, and I also lost my microphone on my camera, because while I was struggling, I had my camera on my back pocket, and the little microphone thing came off, and now I don't know where it is. It might be in the bottom of a lake. I don't care. So yeah, I'm gonna drink my soup because now I'm stressed. My shoulders are so stressed. When I get stressed, my shoulders look like I look like Hulk. So I'm gonna eat my soup, and hopefully I feel better soon. And I did start the Raven cycle, but I'm not liking it. So I'll let you know a little bit more when I read it for a little bit in a less stressful environment. Hello and welcome back to this random ass vlog. So, scratch whatever I said I was gonna do. I'm making cookies. My husband sent me a video of these cookies that sounded absolutely delicious. I'm gonna put the video on the screen, but they were Rice Krispie Treat cookies. And I actually realized I had like everything to make it, except for like the recipe calls for like store-bought like sugar cookies, but I didn't have store-bought, so I just made sugar cookies. And then I added all the ingredients on top. The chances of this going well are very low because I don't usually trust Instagram recipes. I'm gonna be honest with you. It is pretty sketchy. I feel like you can like, through the power of magic, you can make anything look good. These is looking, it's looking like cookie dough, but it's also looking very solid because of the marshmallows. So this is like sugar cookies that you add Rice Krispies and then add marshmallows to it and then just like bake it, and crazy. So I already made the whole dough, so now I'm just gonna roll it and let it be in the fridge. It's kind of like, I don't know whether or not to do that because my cookie dough recipe that I'm using, this is from this book. It's the other book that I really use for cooking a lot. It's called What's for Dessert. It's from this lady like right here. I think her name is Claire. It's on page 217. That's what I'm making. This simple cookie dough and sugar cookie recipe. And then I modified it to add Rice Krispie treats and not Rice Krispie treats, Rice Krispies and marshmallows. And now it's just, I don't know, the texture is so weird. Like it was like a normal cookie dough and now it's not. So now I'm making a little log, I guess. I don't even know what I'm doing. I'm making a little log. I don't know how this is gonna turn out. I'm gonna let you know when I'm baking. It's probably not gonna be good. I'm just gonna tell you right now, it's probably not gonna be good. Welcome to the start, actually the end of this reading vlog. So I just kind of wanted to wrap it up. I didn't finish any other books from yesterday. I did make the cookies, so I wanted to give you a final cookie review as well. So the cookies were pretty good. Sorry, you can see my swimsuit underneath my clothes. I'm about to go swimming. So the cookies, I made the sugar cookie base, and then I added 2.5 cups of Rice Krispie treats and 4 ounces of marshmallows. I'm gonna put the specific recipe down below, and probably I'll show it in the screen right now too. So I got it from an Instagram reel, so that's not my safest bet for getting recipes. A lot of the time, I feel like people don't try them, and they just kind of like make them once and they kind of call it a day. But this one actually worked perfectly, even though I didn't follow her specific recipe because I made my sugar cookies from scratch. I actually didn't even have to like freeze the cookies or anything or like put them in the refrigerator. I ended up taking them out immediately and just like baking them. Turned out great. The final thing is like, it's a 7 out of 10 cookie. It's not a 10 out of 10 cookie. I'm very picky about cookie texture, and this one was chewy, but it did have that marshmallowy texture and it wasn't crispy. It was just a weird texture. I think the marshmallow just made it a little bit of a weird gloopy texture. And that's just kind of the name of the game. You're adding something that is very, like, that type of texture to something that is like very supposed to be very crispy, and it kind of like melted a little weird, but the flavor was there. It tasted exactly like a Rice Krispie treat that had like extra butter, and then the drizzle of chocolate and sea salt were delicious. So I cannot really fault it for that. It is what it is. It is what the recipe says it's gonna taste like, and I had a lot of fun making it. So we're definitely gonna eat them all, even though I make them humongous for a reason. They're like yay big. I just like didn't care about, but the point that I was like measuring them out, I knew that they were not gonna work, and they actually ended up working. So I ended up with humongous cookies, but it's fine. We'll eat them little by little. And then I kind of want to close out the blog by like saying everything we read. So we read, let's say, we finished Daydream. That one was last week, so we did finish it. It was a 4 out of 5 stars. It was probably gonna be far closer to a 5 than a 4, like 4.5. It's probably gonna be one of my favorite romances of the year. Then we finished Can't Spell Treason Without T. It was another 4-star read. It was just so much fun, and I can't wait to continue on this world. Then we finished Everybody in the Train is a Suspect. That was a solid like 3 stars. It was just like so much fun. I love reading that book. And then we finished, what's the name? We finished She's Not Sorry. That one was a solid 3 out of 5 stars. It just had like a twist that I really enjoyed, even though like the book itself is a little trauma dumping. It's like a little hard to read because it's talking about like a very traumatic experience for a woman. So it's kind of like such a hustle to get through all those parts, but then you get to the twist, and there's twist after twist after twist, and even it ends, and kind of like not everything was resolved, so it ends in a lot of suspense, and that was a lot of fun. So we finished that one, and then we attempted 3 other books, and I'm actually going to tell you what I'm going to DNF, because I know I mentioned a lot of books at the beginning of last video and this video, so I'm officially going to DNF. Let me switch over to Everand, because that's where I get a lot of books that I end up DNFing, because I'm not sure whether or not I want to get them, so I borrow them there. So this is how you lose a time war. I'm going to DNF this book. I know that a lot of people think it is one of the best sci-fis of all time. I'm going to soft DNF it for now, just because it's very complicated, and I was listening to the audiobook and I was not connecting with the characters at all. So I think I just need to get the physical book and read it like slowly and pay attention to it. So I don't think the audiobook is for me on this one. Service Model, I'm going to need DNF this book as well. This one is about a robot that kills his master, and he's kind of stuck in this endless loop because he kind of like tries to report himself to the police, and the police is like, is this urgent? We have a big backlog. And he's like, no, it's not urgent. He's already dead. And then the police is like, fine, you're at the bottom of the list. And then nothing is happening. And he's trying to actually get in trouble because of this murder, but he can't seem to get in trouble. So I'm soft DNFing that. And they can't kill us till they kill us. This one is very interesting because I did listen to almost like the entire book, but then I kind of want to stop just because I'm not paying enough attention to it. A lot of the time I stop books because I realize that they're really good, and I'm not absorbing it in the audiobook format. So kind of another one that I kind of want to like soft DNF till I get the actual book, because this is just like very hard-hitting and just very, very dense, and I can't. The audiobook is not doing it for me. So yeah, those are all the books that I am soft DNFing. And I am also stopping the Raven Boys. I don't like that book. I understand, like, it's Books and Lala's favorite book, so I wanted to read it just because I want to be part of the book club. But it has a lot of things that I don't like. I don't like book about, like, fate. I don't like book about, like, reading your fortune tellers. I don't like YA books all that much anymore. I don't like books that are speculative. I like books that are, I don't mind. Like, it's kind of weird because I love fantasy and sci-fi, but I don't like just soft fantasy and soft sci-fi, like, that are kind of like, you don't know what's really happening. Is there magic? Is there not? Like, magical realism is not my type of book. I just like rules, and like, this is the magic system, this is what this magic can do, this is what it can't. So, and I don't know, I feel like the Raven Boys might be for me one day. I just like, I'm not in the frame of mind to read it, and I don't want to get myself into a slump just to read that book for a book club. So yeah, those are my final thoughts about the books, and I know that I already have a lot of other things that I want to read, so let's just move to the next video for next week. So bye.